Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 15, Text 5. प्रतिहात सुवर्चलायां प्रतिहर्त्रादयस्त्रय आसन् इज्या कोविदाः सूनवः प्रतिहर्तुः स्तुत्याम् अजभूमानाः अजनिषाताम् Pratihat from King Pratiha. Suvarchalayam in the womb of his wife named Suvarchala. Pratihartra Adayah. Trayah. The three sons Pratiharta, Prastota and Udgata. Asan came into being. Ijya Kovidaha, who were all very expert in the ritualistic ceremonies of the Vedas. Sunavaha, sons. Pratihartu, from Pratiharta. Stutyam, in the womb of Stuti, his wife. Ajabhumanau, the two sons Aja and Bhuma. Ajanishatam were brought into existence. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the womb of his wife Suvarchala, Pratiha begot three sons named Pratiharta, Prastota and Udgata. These three sons were very expert in performing Vedic rituals. Pratiharta begot two sons named Aja and Bhuma in the womb of his wife named Stuti. Please repeat. In the womb of his wife Suvarchala, Pratiha begot three sons named Pratiharta, Prastota and Udgata. These three sons were very expert in performing Vedic rituals. Pratiharta begot two sons named Aja and Bhuma in the womb of his wife named Stuti. 5:15:6. Bhumna Rishikulyayam Udgithastatah Prastavo Devakulyanam Prastavan Niyutsayam Hridayaja Asid Vibhur Vibhoratyam Cha Prithushena Stasman Nakta Akutyam Jagnye Nakta Drutiputro Gayo Rajarshi Pravara Udara Shrava Ajayata Sakshad Bhagavato Vishnur Jagat Rirakshishaya Grihita Sattvasya Kalatmavattvadi Lakshanena Mahapurushatam Praptah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In the womb of his wife Rishikulya, King Bhuma begot a son named Udgitha. From Udgitha's wife Devakulya, a son named Prastava was born, and Prastava begot a son named Vibhu through his wife Niyutsa. In the womb of his wife Rati, Vibhu got a son named Prithushena. Prithushena begot a son named Nakta in the womb of his wife named Akuti. Nakta's wife was Druti, and from her womb the great king Gaya was born. Gaya was very famous and pious. He was the best of saintly kings. Lord Vishnu and his expansions, who are meant to protect the universe, are always situated in the transcendental mode of goodness known as Vishuddha Sattva. Being the direct expansion of Lord Vishnu, King Gaya was also situated in the Vishuddha Sattva. Because of this, Maharaj Gaya was fully equipped with transcendental knowledge. Therefore, he was called Mahapurusha. Purport. From this verse, it appears that the incarnations of God are various. Some are part and parcel of the direct expansions, and some are direct expansions of Lord Vishnu. A direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Amsha or Swamsha, whereas an incarnation from Amsha is called Kala. Among the Kalas, there are the Vibhinnamsha Jivas or living entities. These are counted among the Jiva Tattvas. Those who come directly from Lord Vishnu are called Vishnu Tattva and are sometimes designated as Mahapurusha. Another name for Krishna is Mahapurusha, and a devotee is sometimes called Mahapaurushika. Text 7. Savaisvadharmena prajapalana poshana prenanopalalananushasana lakshanene jyadina cha bhagavati mahapurushe paravare brahmani sarvatmanarpita paramartha lakshanena brahmavit charananusevaya padita bhagavat bhakti yogena chabhikšnashah paribhavitati shuddhamatir उपरतानात्म्य आत्मनि स्वयं उपलभ्यमान ब्रह्मात्मानुभवोऽपि निरभिमान एवावनिम् अजूकुपत्. King Gaya gave full protection and security to the citizens so that their personal property would not be disturbed by undesirable elements. He also saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. This is called Poshana. He would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizens to satisfy them. This is called Prenana. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. This is called Upalalana. He would also give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. This is called Anushasana. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules and regulations of household life. He performed sacrifices and was an unalloyed pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was called Mahapurusha because as a king, he gave the citizens all facilities, and as a householder, he executed all his duties so that at the end he became a strict devotee of the Supreme Lord. As a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to other devotees and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. This is the Bhakti Yoga process. Due to all these transcendental activities, King Gaya was always free from the bodily conception. He was full in Brahman realization and consequently he was always jubilant. He did not experience material lamentation. Although he was perfect in all respects, he was not proud, nor was he anxious to rule the kingdom. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, when he descends to earth, he has two types of business: to give protection to the faithful and annihilate the demons. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Bhagavad Gita 4.8. Since the king is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is sometimes called Naradeva, that is, the Lord as a human being. According to the Vedic injunctions, he is worshipped as God on the material platform. As a representative of the Supreme Lord, the king had the duty to protect the citizens in a perfect way so that they would not be anxious for food and protection and so that they would be jubilant. The king would supply everything for their benefit, and because of this, he would levy taxes. If the king or government otherwise levies taxes on the citizens, he becomes responsible for the sinful activities of the citizens. In Kali Yuga, monarchy is abolished because the kings themselves are subjected to the influence of Kali Yuga. It is understood from the Ramayana that when Vibhishana became friends with Lord Ramachandra, he promised that if by chance or will he broke the laws of friendship with Lord Ramachandra, he would become It is understood from the Ramayana that when Vibhishan became friends with Lord Ramachandra, he promised that if by chance or will he broke the laws of friendship with Lord Ramachandra, he would become a Brahmana or a king in Kali Yuga. In this age, As Vibhishan indicated, both Brahmanas and kings are in a wretched condition. Actually, there are no kings or Brahmanas in this age, and due to their absence, the whole world is in a chaotic condition and is always in distress. Compared to present standards, Maharaj Gaya was a true representative of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he was known as Mahapurusha. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagara Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagara Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Santubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here the lineage of Bharat Maharaj is being described, and you can see the phenomenal memory of Shukadeva Goswami, where he remembers so many personalities with their names and whose wife is who, whose son is who, and how many sons or daughters they had. In many places of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he mentions all these names. So sometimes we may think, what is the value in remembering these names? Because if the teachings are the main thing, and if we can implement those teachings in our lives, we can perfect our lives. But what is the need for remembering all these names? First thing is, historically, if there are no names, anybody can tell any story. Nowadays in ISKCON, this is a trend. I have seen so many videos of so-called devotees, brahmacharis, all saffron, and then they are telling wild stories. Oh, one devotee, very dedicated devotee in South Africa, this happened, a real life incident. They mentioned so many things, but no name, no nothing, don't know who is he associated with, nothing. Huh? So, no, don't know whether it's correct or not. Like this, there are so many stories. Oh, one Muslim man, he saw Krishna's picture and he became ecstatic. Something, the wild stories they're telling. Somebody fell under the bus, and some girl, and then Narsimha came and protected.
Jumped from the second floor.
Broke his knees. Weird stories, weird stories are being circulated, and there is no need for such invented stories. Clearly, they're invented, and somebody scripted them nicely in some basement. So, so that kind of stories are not needed. So here, what he's doing is he's first of all authenticating that there were such personalities and they're very specific names, not some, we don't know, like what scientists now think about how humanity was before. Oh, there was some, cavemen, and people do not know how to talk, people do not know how to cook and all that. And very vague understanding. So no, the very specific names are given here. And there is a verse. Just by remembering, what is that verse? Just by remembering the devotees, we become purified. Just by even chanting the names of the devotees. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant the names of the gopis on the mala. And some people, they what is that? Ridiculed him and insulted him. After which he took sannyas to stop them from doing that, because they were saying, "Oh, you should chant Krishna's name. Why are you chanting the gopis' names?" Of course, for us, the religious principle is to chant Krishna's name. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing that chanting the devotees' names is also purifying. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Srimad Bhagavatam also says madbhakta puja bhadika. Puja bhadika. That means serving the devotees is higher than serving Krishna. So chanting their names is actually even higher than chanting Krishna's name. Then why are we chanting Krishna's name? Because that is the order of Chaitanya. We should follow the instruction of Krishna and his pure devotees. That is the proper way to serve them. So anyway, I think I don't remember the verse which one. Just by remembering them. 11 to 12.
That is by glorifying activity of the Lord.
श्रुतोनुपठितो ध्यात आदृतो वानुमोदितः सद्यः पुनाति सद्धर्मो देव विश्वद्रोहोभिः. Pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord is spiritually so potent that simply by hearing about such transcendental service, by chanting its glories in response, by meditating on it, by respectfully and faithfully accepting it, or by praising the devotional service of others, even persons who hate the demigods and all other living beings can be immediately purified. And of course, there is this verse. शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्त्यभीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जनाः त एव पश्यन्त्यचिरेण तावकं भवप्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम्. 1836. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. In fact, 11 to 6. भजन्ति ये यथा देवान् देवा अपि तथैव तान् चायैव कर्म सचिवा साधवो दीनवत्सला. No. But anyway, there is this verse. श्रुतस्य पुंसां सुचिरश्रमस्य नन्मञ्जसा सूरिभिरीडितोऽर्थः तत्तत्गुणानुश्रवणं मुकुन्द पादारविन्दं हृदयेषु येषाम्. Persons who hear from a spiritual master with great labor and for a long time must hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their hearts of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead who awards his devotees liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.13.4. So when we remember, Sukadeva Goswami did not just remember the names, he also remembered their activities. In fact, in the recent quote that Gopal shared with all of us, Prabhupada explains that remembrance means to remember some activities. Glorifying the spiritual master means, or glorifying the devotees means to remember their activities. So like he explained, what is that? Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane. He is a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he is the preacher of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in Paschatya Deshatarine to deliver the Western countries which are filled with Nirvishesha and Shunyavadi philosophies, which are the most dangerous philosophies in this world. Sometimes devotees sing Namaste Saraswati Devi. We are not offering the respects there to Saraswati Devi. Saraswate Deve. Deve is for male. It's not Devi. Huh? No, it is Deve. So Namaste Saraswate. Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and his disciple or his followers are called Saraswatas. So Prabhupada explained that we are also Saraswatas because we are descendants of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There is actually in the Brahmana and Vaishnava book, at the end there is this article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur about Vaishnava, what is that? Santan or family. So Vaishnava Santan or Vaishnava Parivar is not just his seminal descendants but also his disciplic descendants. So both are considered part of the Santan of the Acharya. Sometimes the seminal descendants may follow the devotional path, but the real family is the devotional disciplic family. So in this way Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. So in our Sampradaya also, Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Prameya Ratnavali mentioned all the different names of the, that 32 names that we have are actually coming from Baladev Vidyabhushan's Prameya Ratnavali. I don't know if he based on something else on a previous record of how the names, how he knows the names. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his song Brahma Hoite Chaturmukha, that song, he listed all until Gaurukshada's Babaji. And of course his disciple is Bhaktisiddhanta and his disciple is Prabhupada. So in this way, the names are there, and just even by chanting the names, we get purified. And in fact, at one point, Prabhupada chastised his disciples when they were writing a flyer, they were making a flyer to distribute, and then they mentioned Guru Maharaj something. So Prabhupada mentioned, why Guru Maharaj? You must mention name, Prabhupada. So you must mention my name. So he wanted very, of course, he also referred to his Guru as my Guru Maharaj. But the reason why he stressed upon mentioning his name is he wanted to be very careful. Because Guru Maharaj can become just anything. So he was very careful of maintaining his position in this movement as founder Acharya. Founder hyphen Acharya. Not that he was the founder and now the Acharya is somebody else. No, he is the founder, he is the Acharya, he is the Acharya. And his name. Because already there were attempts, even in his presence, Kirtananda and Krishna Krishna, they were trying to become already gurus. Of course, Tamal Krishna Goswami also was trying his best to become guru. So he wanted to make it sure that, they mentioned Prabhupada's name. So anyway, every day morning in the Guru Vandana song, we chant Vedegai Jahar Charita. Right? Vedegai Jahar Charita means all the Vedic literature are glorifying the activities of the spiritual master. Now you may say, where Vedas are glorifying Prabhupada, where? Show me. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhu, where? No. The meaning is the character of the spiritual master, the life of the spiritual master, the pure devotional service is same everywhere. And all pure devotees have all good qualities. And their charita means Prabhupada's qualities are not different from Prahlad Maharaj's qualities or Dhruv Maharaj's qualities or Yudhishthir Maharaj's qualities. They're not different. Because all of them are pure devotees. Differently empowered, some devotees may be empowered in renunciation, like Gaur Das Babaji, Sakshat Vairagya Murtaya. He is empowered to display the opulence of renunciation. And some Krishna Shaktivana Nahirtar Pravartana, empowered to preach, some empowered to rule, some empowered to write, like Rupa Goswami, the 6 Goswamis mainly wrote. They did not extensively preach. They gleaned the conclusions from where Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunao Sadharma Samsthapako. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunao Sadharma Samsthapako. So they wanted to establish Sadharma by writing books, create the foundation for the movement. Now Prabhupada went all over the world and preached. But if there was no books, how to preach? Of course, he translated them. But this work was done by previous acharyas. Of course, Vyasadeva wrote the whole Gita Bhagavatam, and the Goswamis wrote the Nectar of Devotion, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and Nectar of Instruction. In fact, Haribhakti Vilas, so many. And acharyas also gave their commentaries. So, when we are able to do something, it is only that, in English there is a saying, standing on the shoulders of giants. We may look big, tall, but actually we are only standing on the shoulders of giants. So these acharyas, we are able to now preach, take out on a computer screen and live stream, people from different thousands of kilometers seeing all this. But this is not possible if there was no books. And somebody has done something, and we are building on that. We're building on that. We're standing on the shoulders of giants. So, by the mercy of the disciplic succession by the previous acharyas, we can do some service, and especially if one has really the mercy of the previous acharyas, one can excel even the previous acharyas at the service. Only by their mercy. This is explained in this verse, Madhya 16.65. ताहा सिद्धि करे हेन अन्य ना देखिए आमार दुष्कर कर्म तुमा होते होय आमार दुष्कर कर्म तुमा होते होय Madhya 16.65. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. He was speaking to Nityananda Prabhu. You can perform a task that even I cannot do. But for you, I cannot find anyone in Gaudadesh who can fulfill my mission there. Purport. Lord Chaitanya's mission is to deliver the fallen souls of this age. In this age of Kali, practically 10% of the population is fallen. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu certainly delivered many fallen souls, but his disciples mainly came from the upper classes. For example, he delivered Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and many others who were socially elevated but fallen from the spiritual point of view. Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis were situated in government service, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the topmost scholar of India. Similarly, Prakashananda Saraswati was the leader of many thousands of Mayavadi sannyasis. It was Srila Nityananda Prabhu, however, who delivered persons like Jagai and Madhai. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, Amar Dushkar Karma Toma Hote Hoy. Jagai and Madhai were delivered solely by Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. When they injured Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya became angry and decided to kill them with his Sudarshan Chakra, but Nityananda Prabhu saved them from the Lord's wrath and delivered them. In the incarnation of Gaur Nitai, the Lord is not supposed to kill demons, but is supposed to deliver them by preaching Krishna consciousness. In the case of Jagai Madhai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry that he would have immediately killed them. But Nityananda Prabhu was so kind that he would not only saved them from death, but elevated them to the transcendental position. Thus, what was not possible for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was carried out by Nityananda Prabhu. Similarly, if one is true to Gaur Nitai's service in the disciplic succession, he can even excel Nityananda Prabhu's service. This is the process of disciplic succession. Nityananda Prabhu delivered Jagai and Madhai, but a servant of Nityananda Prabhu, by his grace, can deliver many thousands of Jagais and Madhais. That is a special benediction of the disciplic succession. One who is situated in the disciplic succession can be understood by the result of his activities. This is always true as far as the activities of the Lord and his devotees are concerned. Therefore, the Lord Shiva says, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samadhishnam. By the grace of Vishnu, a Vaishnava can render better service than Vishnu. That is the special prerogative of a Vaishnava. The Lord actually wants to see his servants work more gloriously than himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna provoked Arjuna to fight because all the warriors on the battlefield were to die by Krishna's plan. Krishna himself did not want to take credit. Rather, he wanted Arjuna to take credit. Therefore, he asked him to fight and win fame. Thus, the Supreme, of course, 1133 is there. Thus, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives credit to a devotee who performs any heavy task perfectly. Hanumanji or Lord Vajrangji, the servant of Lord Ramchandra, serves as another example. It was Hanumanji who jumped over the sea in one leap and reached the shore of Lanka from the shore of Bharatvarsh. When Lord Ramchandra chose to go there, he paved the way with stones, although by his will the stones were able to float on the sea. If we simply follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions and follow in the footsteps of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, this Krishna consciousness movement can advance. And even more difficult tasks can be performed by the preachers remaining faithful to the service of the Lord. So this purport is very important, and this is also mentioned in this verse, Adi 14:1. Athanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. Things that are very, very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. So, the result of properly following disciplic succession is they will excel even the Guru's service only by the mercy of the Guru. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur preached about Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he spread it all over India in a very organized manner. Gaudiya Math. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha. He had, but it was a loose organization and it was not like very organized in that way. He wrote many books. He wrote many songs to inspire the people, and he delivered many lectures. He did many things. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur put more structure to that preaching, and all over India but he could have easily gone also overseas. He could teach English to the Westerners. I mean, that kind of English he was speaking. Why could he not go to Britain himself or America? He could have easily gone. But he gave that mercy, that credit to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada excelled even his own Guru. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did 64 Gaudiya Math temples in India. Prabhupada did 108 all over the world. And it's not just the numbers. Now, of course, the ISKCON will say, oh, we have thousands. We excelled even Prabhupada. Quality also matters. Quality also matters. What kind of devotees and how, not just, expanding like a watered down milk, diluted milk. Not that kind of expansion. Expansion with concentration. So that kind of expansion, concentrated expansion, that is real expansion. We can easily dilute something and expand something like milk. Add water and make it still, or add some other adulterants and make it expanded in size and volume. But that is not real milk. The benefit is not there. So just by numbers, we cannot prove that it's expanded or not. How we know the quality has decreased? First thing, their idea of what is a guru, who such an exalted servitor of Krishna. Guru is not an ordinary position, but they made it into an ordinary position. A guru can fall down, and what is his standards? This is not any Vaishnava standard at all. Our parampara, none of the gurus fell down. The guru, if somebody is falling down, he is not in the highest grade, first of all. So if our benchmark of what is a pure devotee is already like so low that he's just taking you to Prabhupada and some word jugglery, then what will we have as a standard for what is Krishna consciousness actually? Starts there. It all starts there. We should always, why Bhagavatam? What is Bhagavatam? It is a compilation of the paragons of devotional service. The highest examples of devotees are listed in the Bhagavatam, and their activities, their devotional service, their dealings with the Lord. History has all kinds of people, but only selected history of the highest order of devotees are collected and presented in the Bhagavatam. That is to bring our attention back to what is actually the standard. So if we dilute that standard and then we include everything, it's not so important. That's why every unimportant historical incident is dharma projhita kaitavatra, thrown out of the Bhagavatam, and only the most essential, the highest quintessential examples of devotees have been listed, and their activities are listed. The reason for this is that our focus should be there at the highest. We may not be there, but unless we aim for the highest, how will we even advance? If our bar is so low, where is the standard? How will we advance further than that? If our guru is falling down, and how will I have the inspiration? So, really excelling the predecessor acharyas by their mercy means by quality. Yesterday, that quote was shared in our Krishna inspiration. That if we just present our philosophy without adulteration, you can do that because you're on live. So if
keyboard sound is very much disturbing. The live keyboard sound is very much disturbing.
no, this won't work.
It's detecting if you use this. Last time I.
Now the camera is
Oh, you have only one.
yes. USB-C is connected to the camera. Anyway, I'm not hardly on the keyboard. Where was I? That's what happens when I'm distracted. I immediately forget everything that I was speaking. So, expansion means expansion with maintaining the quality. Yeah. So I don't like distraction. So, gurus falling down. If the gurus are, so if the standard is kept so low, then we will not advance. Everybody will just be aiming for a very low bar, and that's it. And it will just plummet after that. If I can do this, why cannot that? Why cannot this? Why cannot that? And even preaching standards, for example. I made 3 videos on Gaur Gopal, criticizing his stupid nonsense so-called preaching. He's not even preaching, he's talking rubbish. But what is the most regrettable fact in that episode is that the people who comment and say, of course, there are idiots who are, say that, oh, he's such a good speaker, and how can you say that? So those are anyway no brain. But the devotees who argue for him, saying that, he's actually expanding it, he's making people who will otherwise never hear something. Yeah, something, but not Krishna. Something about Krishna, at least something. It's not even Krishna. No, they're seeing, tilak, that itself is purifying. No, that's not purifying. It only is purifying when it is the symbolism of a Vaishnava. Otherwise, Yamaha also has that same tilak, okay? Nobody is thinking about Krishna by looking at the Yamaha logo. Do you know what is Yamaha logo?
Yeah.
Have you seen the logo of Yamaha bikes? No?
Oh, yeah. The speaker.
Our speaker here is Yamaha. 3 tilaks. You go and you make your own research. Yamaha bike logo. Those who haven't seen, do your research. How it looks like. 3 tilak, I think for the live stream people, I don't know if I should put effort. Let's see, for the live stream people also will show, so that it's on record. Okay. Yamaha, right? 3 tilaks, Nobody is remembering Krishna, 1 second. I will show the live stream people first. Stop screen. Present. Okay. You see, and this is for the people who are on live stream. Look at that Yamaha logo. 3 tilaks upside down and oblique. So just by wearing tilak doesn't mean you're reminding people of Krishna. In fact, those motivational so-called students of Gaurav, they will never know that he is actually preaching about Krishna. No. He is casting a net, and then eventually they're, reading Bhagavad Gita. It's a different way of preaching. First, invite them into something at least, and then other devotees will, do the rest, the funnel system. If anything, he has slowed down that person's contacting of Bhagavad Gita, and if anything, he diluted it and misrepresented it. But that person will never. And the very fact that those people actually fight with us, those who read the Bhagavad Gita coming from him, read the Bhagavad Gita, and now are fighting with us. That means what he has understood even of the Bhagavad Gita. Because if you see Prabhupada's presentation in any setting, whether it's a class setting or whether it's a TV show interview, they say that, Gaur Gopal, he gives classes all very Krishna conscious, You should hear the classes in the temple before commenting, they say. I don't care. Even if he speaks 100 verses in a class in the temple and he speaks strict philosophy, why are you speaking nonsense outside? Don't be a duplicitous rascal, chameleon. Don't be that. Just preach the same thing wherever you are. In whichever arena you are, same thing. We don't have to mask ourselves so badly to preach. Of course, it will come like that. So, the reminding of Krishna means, when people see a devotee Vaishnava Tilak, it should remind them of Krishna. That means they should think that, here is a nice sadhu, nice devotee. They say Hare Krishna, and also inside the heart they will feel good. Okay, here is a nice person. Character is good. That is what matters. And he speaks very nicely. He's very knowledgeable. He's always chanting Krishna's name. He's distributing prasadam to people. That is the thing that people should have. Not just these Hare Krishna rascals. All. Of course, there are some people who, without knowledge of what is Hare Krishna, they are just enemies. But if we ourselves show a very bad example of devotee, like what it was after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left for 400 years, 300 years, until Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, it was known as a religion for, what is this? No, not Vaishnava. Debauchees. All the illicit sex fellows, Tilak means illicit sex fellow. People, that is a character we are reminding of, people of, by wearing this. So this symbolism is only valid if our character also matches that. No point wearing this cloth and putting, what is that? Matha neda, kapni pada, tilak nake, galai mala. Dekhte Vaishnav mata, asala shakta kajare bela. Sahaja bhajan korchena mamu, sange loy parer bala. This is culture. What is that? Simply looking like Vaishnav only. Only external. Inside activities are illicit sex with other women and doing all kinds of illicit business, all kind of things. What is that? So people should have a good impression of what is a devotee, and then people will automatically respect, even though they are not there yet. They will have, okay, this is nice. Okay, they will have automatically respect for Krishna. Now we are not after Tulya Ninda Stutir Mauni. A devotee doesn't care for whether he is praised or whether he is insulted personally. But if we see here, very good. If we see here, Krishna says to Arjuna, 235, Bhayadranadu paratam mamsan te tvam maharatha yesham chatvam bahumato bhutvayasya siladhavam. There is a notebook. Remind. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. He is saying to Arjuna, hey, you are known, your fame is that you are a great warrior. Now if you don't fight, people will think you are a coward. But then later on, Krishna says, Tulyaninda Stutirman, whether praise or insult doesn't matter, devotee. So Arjuna shouldn't have cared. Yeah, actually, I don't mind. Let them think that way. But why is Krishna stressing of his fame? Stressing on the fame. You see here. Next. Avachavadams chabahun vadishyanti tavahitah nindantas samarthyam tato dukkhataram nukim. Nindantas. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be made more painful for you? And actually, if you go to 234, just here, you see this is Sambhavitasya Chakirtir Maranad Atirichyate. Chakirtir means, see, Sambhavitasya means those who are well known. Respectable man. For a respectable man, Akirti, ill fame is more than death. See? People will always speak of your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. How is he speaking? Why is he speaking this kind of things? Why is he concerned about fame? Because this fame is, he is a personal associate of Krishna. And he is running away. He is putting the entire, he is putting the infamy to Krishna itself. That, Krishna's devotees are all cowards. And Prabhupada also said, if you follow the 4 principles and chant 16 rounds, you will have respect within society because you will be of a good character. And how to preach when they don't respect? Who will sit down and hear from a person who does not command any respect? Who will listen? Who will take? That's why Acharya means those who teach by Achar first before Prachar. So we must learn, we must exhibit first. As a devotee, we should behave like that first. And then, yes, we will command some respect. And that respect is for Krishna's service. Not that I should be known as a big scholar and everybody should respect me. No. They should respect so that people will take it seriously, Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if a debauchee comes and sit down and then, do some class or what is he speaking? Who is he, first of all? That's why that letter that Prabhu showed, Kirtananda, where is that letter?
October 6, 1970.
1969? 67. 68?
67.
Yeah, let's. See what I'm searching. Kirtananda Potency October. Kirtananda. Kirtana Ananda. Is the spelling correct or not? Kirtananda October. Okay, wait. Kirtananda October 6. What is this? No. What is that? Okay. 16? This is already 76. 3 and should be there. No. How come? What is this letter? How come? Any words from that letter, please? Why can't we even?
His lecture in Harvard.
All 76. 67, October 6. Okay. Okay, here. This is a letter by Prabhupada, 6th October 1967 to Satsvarup. Kirtanananda may be eager to address in the Harvard University, but recently he has lost his link on account of disobedience. You sing every day morning that by the mercy of the spiritual master one can please the Lord, and one who has not pleased the spiritual master cannot have any access in the realm of Krishna consciousness. Very recently, Kirtananda has developed a different consciousness of Maya, which is called misuse of one's minute independence offered by Krishna. By misuse of one's independence, one at once becomes a victim of Maya, and thus he loses all importance in Krishna consciousness. So it is my definite opinion that his lecture anywhere now will bear no spiritual sequence. He must rectify his mistake before he can play in our society any important role. By lips he says that he is a surrendered soul, but by action he is thinking differently. So you see, like this we have many people in ISKCON today who are of this category. They are saying, oh, we are following Prabhupada. So we should be very, very alert in identifying these deviations. If we ourselves are not, and also it is not just, oh, he is deviated, I can identify. No, we see whether we are also deviated or not. We ourselves are deviated or not. ISKM, we want to stand for following Prabhupada properly. Just because I am an ISKM does not mean I am following Prabhupada properly. I should come to the standard myself. That should be our emblem. That should be just like wearing tilak means automatically now I'm Vaishnava. No, I'm not Vaishnava. So like that, just by coming to ISKM or Ritvik initiation means now I'm following Prabhupada properly. No. So we have to learn from the activities. Now here in today's example, who is this? King Gaya. You see how perfectly he conducted himself. King Gaya gave full protection and security to the citizens so that their personal property would not be disturbed by undesirable elements. So the king must be like this. Not that there are full of thieves and he is running one kingdom. He also saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. He would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizens to satisfy them. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. He would also give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. And this is not just like nowadays. Also, some governments they do something, good citizen, become national, have some Mera Bharat Mahan, patriotism. Some, here also in this country also they do. We are not talking about these material mundane things. First class citizens mean how to become first class citizens. Unless there is Varnashram Dharma. And let's see, actually that is also explained in this 429.81. Prachina barhi rajarshi praja sargabhirakshane adishya putran agamat tapase kapilashramam praja sargabhirakshane. Here, in the presence of his ministers, saintly King Prachina Barhi left orders for his sons to protect the citizens. Praja sargabhirakshane. He then left home and went off to undergo austerities in a holy place known as Kapila. Now here, the word purport. The word Praja Sarga is very important in this verse. When the saintly King Prachina Barhi was induced by the great sage Narada to leave home and take to the devotional service of the Lord, his sons had not yet returned from their austerities in the water. However, he did not wait for their return, but simply left messages to the effect that his sons were to protect the mass of citizens. Now here, according to Veera Raghava Acharya from Sri Sampradaya, such protection means organizing the citizens into the specific divisions of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Abhirakshana, not just protecting from some thieves, criminals or other kingdoms from invading. Not just this physical protection, but spiritual, mental, intellectual, physical, all protection. All layers of protection, cultural, everything. Such protection means organizing the citizens into the specific divisions of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. It was the responsibility of the royal order to see that the citizens were following the regulatory principles of the 4 Varnas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Ashramas, namely Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. It is very difficult to rule citizens in a kingdom without organizing this Varnashram Dharma. To rule the mass of citizens in a state and keep them in a complete progressive order is not possible simply by passing laws every year in a legislative assembly. There are some so-called social reformers today who are lawyers. In India, we'll find some who are talking about how to put laws in place so that we can have some good situation in the country. It will not work just by passing laws. What is that? Prabhupada said, just passing laws will not make a thief an honest man. So his heart must change. So of course laws should be there. They are the guardrails of civilization. But his own heart must change. For example, now we went to where? Prayagraj for Kumbh Mela. Oh, millions and hundreds of millions of people are coming. In another country outside India, this is considered, you see here we have Rath Yatra, how many? 10,000, 12,000 people. Already, so much we have to follow protocol for protection of the crowd and, any from stampedes, from terrorism, especially terrorism. You have to have security detail, you have to hire security, you have to spend a lot of thousands of dollars to do that. Police permits, all these things. There are hundreds of millions of people. Of course, police were there and everything was there to ward off terrorism. But people are mainly very religious. And you don't need that much control to control them. Of course, yesterday an unfortunate event happened. Honestly, some of the measures can be better. Some of the crowd control we have also seen. It was not ideal. But by and large, people are they are coming for just, taking a dip. And of course, that is also not the highest, principle of religion. They have to actually hear. But either way, at least people are interested in dharma and they're coming. So, relatively, their hearts are not contaminated with some terrorist ideas. And this Mela has been going on since time immemorial. People are going there for thousands of years. Without and no advertisement. Prabhupada many times mentioned, no advertisement for this. Oh, Kumbh Mela, please come. Nothing. In fact, British government, they tried so much to stop people from coming. Still people came. The Muslim government before that, so many kings, they also tried to stop. They named Prayag as Allahabad. All these things they tried. Nothing stopped. You advertise against also, people are coming. So that is the heart of Bharatvarsha. Punyabhumi. So, therefore, it's easier. So my point is, if the people's hearts are clean, then you don't require huge amounts of control measures. For example, we went to this town in India. I think what is that? Shani Shignapur, where the houses have no doors. They have no need of lock security systems or digital security cameras. Nothing needed. All these, the more and more we have security, cyber security, now everything security there. That is the sign of a atheistic population. The more and more we need such security, the more and more it is a sign of an atheistic population who are going away from what is actually right, what is dharma. It's because we have so many adharmic people, we need these kind of things to control them. And that control is not controlling their heart anyway. It's just external control, only out of fear of law or that's the only reason why they may not commit a crime. At the slightest opportunity, they will. So, real abhirakshana means to protect their spiritual advancement. Just like don't become, father, mother, anything. If you cannot deliver dependence, This verse is many times quoted. Gurur na sasyat, svajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, daivam na tatsyan, na patischa sasyan, namochi yadya samupeta mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, relative, father, husband, mother, or a worshipable demigod, or let's add king also. So we should not take any responsible position if we cannot deliver. So this is the protection from the cycle of birth and death. Is the real protection. Other protections are concomitant. Once this is settled, everything else can fall in place easily. It will not be too much of a difficulty. Now you see, we have taken so much difficulty to just maintain the body, to just eat 4 chapatis or some little rice, working hard day and night. Before also people were eating, and they had many more children than now. But they were not working as hard. So the reason being, there was a much stabler system. Just as much as is enough. What is it? Kamasya nendriya prita labho jivita yavata jivasya tattva jignasa nartho yascheha karma bhi. Life was meant for jignasa, tattva jignasa. And the rest of the things, just keep it to the minimum. Now they are complicating it so much. Oh, advance this and that, advance this and that. And to maintain that, you have need a huge apparatus. Huge apparatus for just maintaining, for example, our computer. Just this. We are, live streaming. How much equipment is needed and how much arrangement is needed for this to happen. Whereas in the case of Sanjaya, when he saw the battlefield of Kurukshetra and narrated the Bhagavad Gita, how did he see? Just yogic power. His guru gave and then he saw. There was no simply antennas and satellites in space moving around the earth. This mess was not there. So technology was there, but no mess. So now, and people also used to have simple house dwellings and everything. Now this is skyscraper, therefore we are advanced. That is not a sign of advancement. Not a sign of advancement. Thought process is very low now. Nobody is thinking. No time to think also. So that is abhirakshana. Real abhirakshana means that. So he was distributing gifts in charity, prinana, and sweet words and instructions on how to become first-class citizens. Just like a father, just like a father. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules and regulations of household life. He was not a grihamedhi, grihastha. He performed sacrifices and was an unalloyed pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was called Mahapurusha because as a king, he gave the citizens all facilities, and as a householder, he executed all duties so that at the end, he became a strict devotee of the Supreme Lord. As a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to other devotees. This is behavior of devotee. And to engage in devotional service of the Lord. This is the Bhakti Yoga process. Due to all these transcendental activities, King Gaya was always free from the bodily conception. He was full in Brahman realization and consequently was jubilant. He did not experience material lamentation. Although he was perfect in all respects, he was not proud, nor was he anxious to rule the kingdom. So this is the behavior of devotee. Who asked? Arjuna asked, what is the symptoms of devotee? 2 times, right? 254 and 1421. 2 times in the Bhagavad Gita. He asked, what are the symptoms of a transcendentalist? And Krishna said many things. Even in 12th chapter, he lists down what actually pleases him. What are the behaviors of a devotee that pleases him? And so you see, तथापि भक्त स्वभाव मर्यादा रक्षण मर्यादा पालन होय साधुर भूषण. So CC Antya 429 30, especially 30. मर्यादा पालन होय साधुर भूषण. What is that? It is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. मर्यादा पालन है साधुर भूषण. So what is the Vaishnava etiquette? Etiquette means not just how we behave. Behavior comes from how we think, how we understand. Because first sambandha abhidheya prayojan. So how first of all we have to understand who we are, and we should think like that, and then our actions will manifest. If I cannot make a show of action, but my thinking is different, one day I will be caught. You can fool some people for all the time, all people for some time, but not all people for all the time. Yeah? So here Krishna says, especially I think 12, 14 onwards, is it? 13, 14. Yomad bhakta samay priyaha. See, this is the behavior of devotee. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitrah karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankarah samadukha sukha kshami santushtah satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayah mayyarpita manobuddhi yomad bhaktah samay priyah. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Next. Yasman nodvijate loko lokan nodvijate chayah harsham harshabhayodvegay mukto yah sachame priyah. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, one who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. You see, this is what actually makes Krishna dear, our character. Anapeksha suchir daksha udasino gatavyatha sarvarambha parityagi yomad bhaktah samay priyah. You see every line, the last line, you see every verse, yomad bhaktah samay priyah. Such a devotee is very dear to me. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result is very dear to me. Yona harshati na dveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktiman yah samay priyah. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखेषु समः संग विवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दा स्तुतिर्मौनी संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. One who is equal to friends and enemies, equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness, distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Yetu dharmamritam idam yathoktam paryupasate shraddadhana matparama bhaktastetiva me priyah. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. And of course, in the 18th chapter, he says, one who preaches my message is very dear to me, there is none more dear. So, I think there is this verse, 4:31:19. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushtya yena kena va sarvendriyopashantya cha tushyatyashu janardhanah. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and controlling the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead Janardana. So we should be preaching. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu means we should be preaching. That will please the Supreme Lord. Santushtyo yena kenava. Actually, if you see this, the order in which this is stated in this verse is the reverse order of which it is, how it is possible. Once we are sarvendriyopashantyacha, if our senses are satisfied and not agitated, then we can be santushtya yena kenava. We can be happy anywhere. And once we are happy, then we can start to preach, paropakar. We cannot do upakar to others if ourselves we are in distress and we are in anxiety. I have to think of myself first. Only when we are completely satisfied, then yes, I will think of others' distress. Paradukha dukhi can only happen when I am swayam sukhi. If I am no dukhi, I have no time to think of paradukha. Swadukha only I am concerned about. Right? So Krishna, I mean Prahlad Maharaj, what he says? Naiva Vijay Paraduratya Vaitaranyas. 3, right? नैवोद्विजे परदुरत्ययवैतरण्यास्त्वद्वीर्यगायनमहामृतमग्नचित्तः शोचे ततो विमुखचेतस इन्द्रियार्थं माया सुखाय भरमुद्वहतो विमूढान्. You see here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, O best of great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. See, he is happy. He has no problems in anywhere in the material world. He is not even afraid. Then only he is able to have concern for others. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. This is the difference between a person who is entangled and a person who is liberated. If you see an entangled person, this is his situation. Not only he is suffering, he will spread misery. Griheshu kuta dharmeshu dukkha tantreshvatandritah kurvan dukkha pratekaram sukhavan manyate grihi. The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy, politics, and constantly spreading miseries. He is miserable and he spreads also miseries. Restricted in his acts of sense gratification, he acts just to counteract his miseries, and if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks that he is happy. This is an attached person. Now, a liberated person. 353. Janasya krishnad vimukhasya daivad adharmashilasya sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardhanasya. O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. You see, they can be philanthropic or charitable or who can help others. And the other verses which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also quoted, 10.8.4. महद्विचलनं नृणां गृहीणां दीनचेतसां निःश्रेयसाय भगवन् कल्पतेनान्यथा क्वचित्. O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another not for their own interests but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. So you see, even if they go to pilgrimage, they want to go there to help others. Like Prabhu, he was not very keen on taking a dip in prayer. He wanted to preach to them. That is the mood of the devotee. They go to help others. Because devotees, wherever they are, whether hell or heaven, it doesn't make a difference whether they are in the Triveni Sangam or whether they are in the, Triloka, going around. Higher, middle and lower planetary system. There isn't, what is that? स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेषु अपि तुल्यार्थ दर्शन नारायण परा सर्वे न कुतश्चन बिभ्यति स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेषु अपि तुल्यार्थ दर्शन. So he Diviva Bhuva Amastu Vasa. See, for him there's no problem. He is only concerned about other problems. But that can only happen if Santushtya Yena Kenava. If I am happy anywhere and everywhere, then I am not worried. I can think of others. So then Dayaya Sarva Bhuteshan. What kind of Daya? Amanda Udaya Daya. Not nonsense Manda Udaya Daya. Khelodhunitake Khedaya Vishadaya Ronmila Damodaya Samyachastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Chittarpiton Madaya Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Daya Nidhe Tavadaya Bhuyada Mandodaya Amanda Udaya Daya. So So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, elaborate explanation he gave on this. Amanda Udaya Daya. Because people sometimes do daya or help others, but that daya becomes Manda Udaya. Bad will arise from that daya. Oh, free food distribution, feed chicken to everyone. Recently, then Mr. Beast, one YouTuber, famous YouTuber, he provided free meals for how many people? 1 million or something like this. Chicken burger. What is the use? In fact, it is Manda Udaya Daya. He sent everybody to hell, he himself going to hell. So they don't know what to do. And education. What can education or set up schools so that people become atheistic? So that is Manda Udaya Daya again. They think that creating jobs, creating technological advancement is advancement. No. It is actually a kind of contamination. Material convenience is a contamination. Jadavidya Tare Mayar Vaibhav. In fact, there is particularly Krishna in Prabhupada mentions this in one place, that material convenience or comfort is actually a contamination. We should not be too much anxious about counteracting the miseries. Sitoshna Sukadukada Adhama Payano Nityas Tam Stitikshasva Bharata Matra Sparshasva. Titikshasva is the solution, not to counteract. Let there be awakening, O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, not inauspicious mercy, Amando the other, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising among different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. So see, this is the real daya. So devotee must behave like this. He must be, first of all, control in his senses. He should be happy anywhere and everywhere. And then he should preach to others. Yontah sukho antararamas tathantar jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutodhigacchati. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Now, next one. Once he is in this position, you see 25th. Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishaya Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha Yatatmana Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. So, busy working for the welfare of all other beings. Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. This means preaching. And the purport Prabhupada writes, the sufferings of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend. Therefore, to act to revive this consciousness within the entire human society is the highest welfare work. One cannot be engaged in such first-class welfare work without being liberated in the Supreme. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any questions or comments on this topic? $328.18 purport. Let's see. Kirtanya Tirtha Yashasam Punya Shloka Yashaskaram Dhyayet Devam Samagrangam Yavan Nachavate Manaha. The glory of the Lord is always worth singing, for his glories enhance the glories of his devotees. One should therefore meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and upon his devotees. one should meditate on the eternal form of the Lord until the mind becomes fixed. This is how. 28. Question. Didn't Srila Prabhupada say that this movement will be stabilized in the third generation? I heard something like that. I haven't seen it myself. 8740. 8740. Yeah, this is all right. So I'll stop here. Any other questions or comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए, गौर प्रेमानंद हरि बोल।